What's up, everyone? So it is Saturday and I'm getting ready for services tomorrow. And if you haven't heard, Tonex is coming out with a new update that allows you to add delay and modulation and some other effects to your signal chain. You can move them around the different blocks and things. So it's pretty cool, and I got access to the beta version of it this week, and I actually set up some presets to try and use for Sunday this week. So let me show you. So here I have a delay, a tape delay set up, and it's pretty cool because you can switch between digital and tape delay. You can get a ping pong kind of sound, and you can set them up into different presets. In here, we're doing the song Great Things. So I have some presets for that. I have some presets for some of the other songs, and I went ahead and transferred these over to the pedal that I'm going to be using tomorrow morning. So that's kind of what I'm setting up, different presets for tomorrow morning. I'm going to try and use the Tonex for delay, reverb, and chorus effects. So tomorrow I'll bring you along with me and show you kind of the setup that I'm using for this Sunday, and then afterward I'll kind of tell you my thoughts on actually using it live on a Sunday morning. All right, so here's the little rig I set up for today. First, I have the PolyTune Mini, and then from there, it goes into the 1981 DRV, and then from there into the Tonex with the different presets I set up, and then finally into the Pinstripe pedals DISO Plus. All right, so I am back from church, and this is the rig that I used today, again with the Tonex, using presets for modulation, delay, and reverb, all running from the Tonex. So I'm going to show you an example of some of those sounds so you can kind of hear what it sounds like, but my kind of thoughts on this are, it was really nice to have those presets, very simple to set up and then transfer to the pedal. At this time, I don't think there is a way to edit all of the effects directly on the pedal itself, other than the reverb that you could already edit on there. But I believe they're adding something where you can do that, especially on the larger pedal. But one thing that's good to know is per preset, you can set a BPM for your delays and your modulation effects. So if you want to be doing some faster songs with a specific BPM, you can save that directly on the pedal. If you need to make a change during a set and bump up a song or bring it down a little bit, you can do that quickly right on the pedal, which is nice. But let me quickly give you an idea of some of the different presets that I used today, and you can kind of hear for yourself what it sounds like. So let's listen to that. So for each song, I set up 3 presets. Each bank on the Tonex has 3 presets. So I just banked up for each song to the next song, and then I had 3 presets for each. So like an ambient setting, a rhythm setting, and a lead setting. And then I used an overdrive. This week I used the 1981 Inventions DRV to kind of boost into some of those different presets depending on if I wanted more gain or not. And then on some of the presets, I used a more clean version of my AC30 capture. And then on some of the big lead parts, to get some more gain out of it, I used some higher in the gain spectrum of my AC30 captures. And if you are interested in getting these AC30 captures, I'm gonna have them for free up on the Sunday Tone website really soon. I'll make a separate video about that when they're released, but just look out for that. So as you can hear, the main effects that I used this Sunday were the delay, the reverb, and chorus. And I think the chorus sounds awesome. It was super easy to dial in, and there was a bunch of other modulation effects like tremolo, rotary, vibrato, things like that, flanger. So it's pretty much a little bit of everything as far as modulation goes. When it comes to the delay, they pretty much just have a digital and tape setting right now. I assume in the future they're going to add more different variations on that. I think the delay sounded really good. It did take me a little bit of time to dial in kind of the feedback and the mix the way that I like it, but I think I got it sounding pretty good. But with the delay, if you're running it post amp, you can have it set up as a ping pong or kind of a straight ahead delay down the middle, but you can also choose to run the delay before the amp if you want to kind of get some extra grit out of it going into the amp. But I think the delays sound really good. There's just not a ton of options when it comes to modulation and controlling some parameters to the delay. Like the tape delay doesn't have a tone or a kind of wow and flutter that you can play with. So I think adding a tone control and a modulation control down the line, which I'm sure they can pretty easily, would be really nice. And when it comes to the reverb, I was pretty much using their plate reverb on most of the songs, except for I think 1 or 2 I might have in a couple parts used a room reverb. But I think the reverbs sound really good. It's just I wish they had more ambient sounding reverbs. For the plate, I pretty much had it the time up very high and the mix up to different levels for different presets, but I wish there was more options as far as delay and reverb go. I think the ones that are there sound good though. So the fact that this is a free update that is coming in the next couple weeks from IK Multimedia is pretty awesome. It adds a whole bunch of new capability to the Tonex One, to the Tonex software, and the Tonex Pedal. That is certainly welcome. You know, I had a great time using this on Sunday instead of my, bigger board with all the things. But it actually forced me to just create these simple presets and then work on practicing the parts that I had to play. And ultimately, I don't think most people noticed that I didn't have my full pedal board. I don't think it sounded that much different. I think it sounded really good still. But it's not going to have every sound that you might have on a large pedal board with a lot of pedals. But it just shows just how capable Tonex is, and the more they bring in some of these things from Amplitude, and whether they come out with a bigger unit in the future that can have a lot more blocks, kind of akin to the Helix or the HX Stomp, I think that will be really cool, and I'm excited kind of where Tonex is going in general. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you gonna get this update when it comes out? Do you think you would use it? Let me know, and I will see you all in the next one.